So they weren't given any money from
The Quincy Board of License Commissioners, October 30th meeting will now commence. We do have 4 members of the board present, so we do have a quorum. We are expecting the city clerk down shortly. She is in a meeting about the election that is coming up on Tuesday. So with that, I would like to say that agenda item number 8 is going to be continued to 11/27. That is the hearing regarding the request of Marshfield Retail Beverage Inc., DBA, liquor aisle for a wine and malt beverage package store license for the premise located at 495 Southern Artery. And that is to be continued until 11/27 if anyone is here for agenda item number 8. With that, we will jump right in. And our first item on the agenda is, before I do that, I must read the open meeting law. I almost forgot. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made whether perceived or unperceived by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. With that, we do have agenda item number 1. This is the hearing regarding the request of the House Net Congregational Church, 310 Manor Ave, for a special use permit for the annual holiday fair on Friday, November 2nd from 6 to 9, and from Saturday, November 3rd from 8 to 4. And this is represented by Ms. Kara Kontoukas. Is Kara here?
I am.
Kara, come on down.
All right, thanks.
Tell us about what's going on down at the House Neck Congregational Church.
It's our annual holiday fair on Friday night and Saturday during the day, and it's a fundraiser for the church.
And how many years have we been doing it?
That's a good question.
More than you can...
More than I've been around
Sounds
for
good to
it.
me.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any comments, questions, concerns in the audience? Are you doing any raffles or anything like that?
We are.
If you are doing, you already got the
We got the
permit
raffle
from them,
license
you go.
already, thank you.
I was thinking, since the city clerk's not here, that's something she would ask about, so that's good. Board members, any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, looking for a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of House Neck Congregational Church, 310 Manor Ave, for a special use permit for their annual holiday fair on Friday, November 2nd, from 6 to 9, and Saturday, November 3rd, from 8 to 4, represented by Ms. Kara Kontoukas.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to grant the request of the House Neck Congregational Church, 310 Manor Ave, for a special use permit for their annual holiday fair on Friday, November 2nd from 6 to 9 and Saturday, November 3rd from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Represented by Ms. Kara Kontoukas. All in favor? Aye. You're all set.
Thank you.
Good luck, okay?
Thank you.
Agenda item number 2, this is the hearing regarding the request of Fan Van LLC DBA Soup House, 25 Copeland Street for common vicular license. Hours of operation 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week, and the proposed manager is Hein Fan. Ms. Hein Fan, come right up here. This is Hein Fan, and she is looking to open up at 25 Copeland Street, which was an Asian restaurant before. It was actually Charlie Ning's many, many years ago, and has now been changed. It's been completely done over. I went by there this afternoon. It looks like it's almost ready to open. Can you tell us a little bit about what your proposal is down there?
So right now we're looking to open a restaurant. It's going to mix Vietnamese and American food, and all the food will be cooked food, no raw food, no alcohol, and it's going to be family run. I have my partner over there. We have like 7 years in the restaurant business, and I have 5 years in accounting business. So I'll take care of the book, and he'll take care of the cooking. And his dad would also help him with the cooking too.
And the hours of operation 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. and there's no alcohol at this location.
No alcohol.
Okay. Our inspectors were there. Bruce Knapp was there on the 24th from Inspectional Services. Bill DeCarli was also there on the 24th from my office. We have the emergency contact form. We have our workers' compensation form. Everything else is in order. The seating occupancy at that location is 30 seats.
That what I'm guessing. I don't know if there are limit for how many seat we should be sitting. But
It's gonna be definitely less than 100, so nothing's gonna kick in if it's less than 100, right?
I think that has limited seating,
Yeah,
I think
okay.
it's no more than, it's not more than 30. We'll have it on record at the building department.
And I know my office will have it on record too when we go down there to read, when we go down to issue his license.
Oh, perfect.
Does anybody in the audience have any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, we will close that portion. Board members, any comments, questions?
Are you planning on doing any work to the restaurant?
The only thing we would do is just replace the two stoves in the kitchen for a new one to look better.
On
So
the
there's cooking equipment there, what
Yeah.
sauce? You're gonna be doing food other than soup?
Soup, and then we also do grilled meat, like grilled pork, grilled chicken, all cooked.
Okay.
The ovens are gas, right?
Yes.
So they'll have to pull permits when they replace them,
Yeah.
right? And I noticed you're gonna replace the sign out front also?
The side, in front of the door.
Yes. So they're gonna have to pull a permit, a building permit sign.
Yeah, so we'd ask you to get a building permit for the sign and to get an occupancy permit. When you're ready, we'll give you an occupancy permit.
Yes.
And we'll work with the fire department.
So before you open up, you wanna make sure that building department goes down, does a walkthrough, fire department does a walkthrough, and my office will be the last office that goes down and does a walkthrough, and then they'll give you your occupancy permit, and then we'll issue the food service licenses.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any comments, questions? Seeing none, looking for a motion pending final inspections.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of Fan Van LLC DBA Soup House, 25 Copeland Street for a common victular license. Proposed hours of operation, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Saturday, Sunday through Saturday. Proposed manager is Hein Fan, represented by Ms. Hein Fan, and subject to conditional upon all the inspections from fire, health, and equipment.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to grant the request of Fan Van LLC DBA Soup House, 25 Copeland Street for a common vicular license. The hours of operation, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week. Proposed manager is Hein Fan, and it's being presented to us by Hein Fan. All in favor?
Aye.
You're all set. Good luck. Okay, do you have any idea when you're gonna be opening?
We're hoping to open right after Thanksgiving.
So, about a week before Thanksgiving, you should start making the phone calls to have people come down and do final inspections.
Yes.
Okay?
And for the bill, for the permit to do the sign and the kitchen, do I get it
You-
or the contractor get it?
So you'll have your plumber come in and get a plumbing permit for the stove. You can apply for the occupancy permit, and you have a sign company?
We are shopping around for it. We don't have.
Usually the sign company will come in and get the permit.
I see. So
But
it's,
you keep in touch with my department, we'll make sure you get a permit.
okay. Thank you so much.
You're
And
welcome.
how do I follow up with the permit? So the contractor will get the permit. Can we start having the contractor coming in, take a look, and then start doing the work, and they'll know to get the permit themselves?
Yeah, they'll work with the inspectors, and we'll coordinate it with the plumbing contractor and yourself.
I see.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 3. This is hearing regarding the request of Atlantic Seafood Trading Corp., 60 Billings Road, for common vicular license in order to provide steam service. They want to steam lobsters and crabs for customers, and this is being represented by Mr. Wei Zhang. This is Mr. Zhang, who owns Atlantic Seafood as well as several other restaurants, none in Quincy. Bruce Knapp was down there on the 10th. William DeCarli from my office was down there on the 10th. We have our emergency contact form, workman's comp, all of the other paperwork is in order. Myself and my inspectors were down to meet with Mr. Zhang last week to go over what we're looking for, and why don't you just tell us about what your proposal is gonna be?
We're proposing to get a CV license and providing, so we can provide a basic service to the client that come in, purchase the lobster that they don't have cooking facilities at home, so we can do an immediate steaming for them. We're not planning to do any like a restaurant or sit down or anything like that.
It's just strictly
Just strictly
steaming,
steaming,
bag and go.
yes.
That's what it was explained to me, and glad to hear that. I know we did talk about a couple of other things, and those are being addressed, so that's good that we're happy with, we're all on the same page with that. Does anybody in the audience have any comments, questions, concerns, before I open it up to the board?
Quick question, how many lobsters can you steam at one time?
Usually people will buy like one or two at a time.
No, but if you were having a party, could you do like 20 or 30 of them or something?
For ahead of time, and then, you know, very rare to have like more than 10, you know, because we're not a restaurant facility. So.
Is it kind of like the thing that's in Market Basket that they steam lobsters in, or that you see in
Stop
Shaw's?
Shop that, you know,
Okay.
if they want to, you know, buy the lobster right there, they can do a steaming right away. They wait 5 minutes, so we can back it and they can take home.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other comments from the questions, concerns? Seeing none, we'll close that portion. Board members, comments, questions, concerns?
John, you having a party?
No, but I want them all to be the same temperature when I serve them to everybody, so if you had like
What do you
100
mean everybody? You
people.
don't have any friends, so what are you worried?
Thank you. You guys are my friends.
You can still make lobster
If you're
salad.
serving lobster, John, I'll be by. all right?
Exactly, everyone's
You're
my
best
friend
friends.
if I have lobster.
Yeah, lobster salad is cold, you know.
Exactly,
Yeah.
give that
How
to
do you
my.
steam the lobsters? Is there a self-contained unit?
We use a induction stove, and then on top of it is a pot of you know, hot water, and you just boil it. That's it.
Boiled water?
Yeah.
Any exhaust for that, or just
Uh,
goes in the store?
it just goes in the store. Very little steam.
And you just sell fish food now? I'm not familiar with that.
Basically, it's all stone crabs and lobsters. We don't sell any fish. You
No, I
know.
was just curious, do they have a CV license? Do they need an additional?
They do not have a CV license, they just have a retail food for marine fisheries that we offer through our license. They're registered through the state also.
Okay.
They have a Norwegian crab down there that's about the size of that table.
Really?
Yeah,
And
big.
it's about $2,500, something like that, is that what it was?
Okay.
Pretty big crab.
It's a big crab.
It's enormous, two of them.
Now I'm afraid to go down. Okay.
Any other comments? Looking for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of Atlantic Seafood Trading Corp., 60 Billings Road for a common victular license in order to provide steam service for lobsters and crabs for their customers, represented by Mr. Lee Zhang.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to grant the request of Atlantic Seafood Trading Corp., 60 Billings Road for common vicular license in order to provide steam service, represented by Mr. Wei Zing. All in favor?
Aye.
You're all set.
Thank
Good luck.
you.
All right. Thank you very much.
See you then.
We'll see you later. This is agenda item number 4, hearing regarding the request of Franklin Street BP for a prepackaged food license for the premise located at 60 Franklin Street, represented by Mr. Elias Ibrahim. Elias, come right up. This is Elias Ibrahim. This is the BP on Franklin Street, right next to the 7-Eleven.
I'm not advised, I'm just representing the women. He's at the hospital in Boston, he couldn't speak it.
Okay, and your
Just
name
ask
is
him. Ahmed Bhutan.
Ahmed,
A-H-M-A-D.
and the last name?
G as in gold, O-U-T-E-Y.
O-U-T-A-Y.
A.
Ahmed Gutay?
Yes, please.
This is Ahmed Gutay, and this is the BP down on Franklin Street next to the 7-Eleven. This is one of our new gas station prepackaged food establishments. I actually was down there on the 14th. We have the emergency contact, the workman's comp. I did speak with Elias. When I was down there, Elias is fully aware of the hand sink requirements. He's gonna be putting one, is it in yet? Not yet? No, he is fully aware of the hand sink requirement for this. He has done his certified mailing. We have the receipts for that. It was advertised, just a mailing, so we did a mailing to the abutters. It's within 14 days. So these all went out on October 4th, so that is all in order. Does anybody in the audience have any comments, questions, concerns about retail food sales down at the BP at 60 Franklin Street? Seeing none, we'll close that portion. Board members, any comments, questions, concerns? Looking for a motion.
Chairman, I'd like to make a request to grant the request of Franklin Street BP for a prepackaged food license for the premises located at 60 Franklin Street, represented by Ahmed Gute.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to grant the request of Franklin Street BP for a prepackaged food license for the premises located at 60 Franklin Street, represented by Ahmed Gute. All in favor?
Aye.
You're all set.
Thank you.
Tell Elias we hope you feel better, okay? Thank you.
You can leave. Yeah.
We have agenda item number 5, hearing regarding the request of Mohammed Ghali Kabri for a delivery license for MGM Limo Inc., 81 Union Street. And he is looking for this for the Massport. They're looking for the delivery license from the city with which you reside, right?
Right.
This is not the first time we've done a livery license for people that are just looking to be going in and out of Logan Airport. We did one about 3 months ago, I think it was. Again, it's not a fleet of cars, it's one single car, falls within the zoning ordinance, he can park it at his house, correct, Mr. Duca?
That's correct.
We have all of our information is approved, zoning approved. Paul McCarthy signed off on it on the 17th of this month. We have the business certificate is in there. No sign-offs from my office, emergency contact for the police. Workman's comp, everything is in order. So, you just want to use it for in and out of Boston, right?
One car, your own?
Only one car, the only police, and so on.
So you're parking it there at night when you're not working
I park in the driveway at night,
in your own home?
yes.
What kind of car is it?
It's a 2018 Cadillac XTS.
Anybody in the audience have any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, we'll close. Board members, any comments, questions, concerns? Looking for a motion.
Chair, I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of Mohammed Ghali McBree for a livery license for MGM Limo Inc., 81 Union Street, represented by Ghali McBree.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to grant the request of Mohammed Ghali Kabri for a livery license for MGM Limo Inc., 81 Union Street. Mr. Ghali Kabri, all in favor?
Aye.
You're all set. Good luck, okay?
Thank you so much.
Agenda item number 6. This is the hearing regarding the request of Von Arakalin for a Motor 2 license for access to car auction for a home-based auto export business. Come right on up here. Arakalin, did we pronounce it right? Arakalin. Arakalin. Okay. Mr. Arakalin, why don't you explain to us what a home-based auto export business is, because I've had several calls since our license, since our agenda went out to over 50 people, so we're curious how a home-based auto business works, okay?
So this is pretty much, it works through the corporate auction. So to be able to buy a car from the corporate auction, I need a dealer license to sign up with them. And it's gonna be online, so I'm gonna buy the cars online and have the shipping company ship the car from the corporate auction to the port and from the port to the overseas.
So you're not going up to the car?
No, I'm not
Auction,
doing
okay.
anything, I'm just sitting at home, clicking on the button, buying the car, and have the shipping company ship the car anywhere from United States to any port, closest port, and from the port it goes to the Europe.
So when you say you're going online so where are you buying these cars from?
Corporate.
From Massachusetts, New Hampshire,
No, it can-
Connecticut, Rhode Island,
it's
anywhere?
Yeah, it can be anywhere, the car can be anywhere, it can be in California, it can be in Texas, it can be in Massachusetts, it depends the deal, so,
And you never actually see the car itself except
No.
online?
no, it's only online. I
And
don't see-
you're not responsible for any
No.
repairs or anything else, if
Nothing.
anything? And these are all coming from dealerships or?
It's a corporate, it's an auto car salvage cars or any other cars. So you can buy those cars at the auction and ship them to overseas. So we work with the US Intercargo shipping company. So they gonna do the shipping, I just gonna buy the car through online.
So the car will never be at the same
Oh,
house?
No, that's my address. No, it's only online, I don't need the car to be there. I'm gonna just click on the button, buy the car, call the company. So,
I just bought this car.
yeah, I have them to ship the car, so I don't do anything, just sitting at home in front of the computer.
You're the middleman buying it and sending
It's
it
like
to
a
whoever.
broker, yeah, I'll be good as a broker. It's online, everything online.
Does anybody in the audience have any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, we'll close. Board members, any other comments, questions?
And now that you've explained it, I understand a little bit better. I had some serious concerns if we were going to be
Oh,
buying cars
it's
for your
very
house.
easy, it's very easy, it's just, this is the way how the shippings work, it's the same, same thing like a used car dealership or any dealer do that, but they have the lot. I don't need the lot, and I'm not responsible for anything else, just buying the car from the auction and have the shipping company.
And you need the license to be able to purchase the vehicles?
Yeah, to be able to buy from any US auctions, you need to have the dealer license.
Is it one auction house that you use, or could it be any?
I want to work with the corporate and maybe IAA. It's a salvage type of auction too.
What is it, IA?
Insurance auto auctions.
IAA, Insurance Auto Auctions.
IAA, yeah. I mean, this is the most biggest auction. They work, with the salvage cars.
Is it a live auction? Are you
Yeah.
competing against other people online?
Yes. So people from everywhere in the world, they're just bidding. They just,
It could be a salvage vehicle, it might not even run, is that correct?
yeah.
And how do you know how much to pay for it? I'm just curious.
It's, it depends how much will cost to the damage to fix it there. So,
So how do you do the research on, do you get to research the vehicle before you?
I already know, so how much this car, will I pay for this car? Let's say the max 3,000, 4,000 or 1,500. This is how much I'm going to.
Is there a list of vehicles before you go on the auction?
No, I have people, my friends in Europe, so they just tell me, we need this car, and we will pay this much amount of money if you can bid, buy it, cheaper. And this is how it works.
How many cars would you be buying in the course of?
Honestly, it depends how many cars they need. I don't know. Right? Yeah, I don't know how everything will, how many cars. Maybe 5 cars, maybe 0, maybe 10.
Maybe 5 one month, 0 the next, you never know.
Yeah, I don't know how, I mean.
So when you buy the vehicle, how do you know how much it's going to sell for?
It's not my problem how much it will be sold. It's people who live there, they need that car and they're saying, okay, we will pay 5,000, for example, for this car. If you can buy it, buy it. And then I'm bidding until up to 5,000 or 4,000, whatever they say. So it's nothing to do, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I'm in Italy and I call you up and I say, geez, I'm looking for a Mercedes-Benz 2005, and I'll pay,
I send you the pictures,
Yeah.
and you will see, and you take to your repair guy or whoever it is,
yeah,
and they will tell you, okay, this costs you like 5,000 to fix it, 5,000 to buy it, 10,000, maybe good, it's a good deal.
And so how does the car get from where it is? You say these cars could be anywhere in the United States?
Yeah. In any corporate auction or insurance out auction.
And then who's, this company, the shipping company will go pick it up
Yeah.
and drive it across?
No, they're not driving, it's a big.
I mean, well, they put it on a flatbed.
Oh yeah, they have the, yeah, it's a US Intercargo, the company name, so they're gonna, I mean, they work with New Jersey, Houston, Los Angeles, everywhere.
And they'll go pick up the vehicle and bring
Oh,
it
they
to the
pick up
dock.
the vehicle from the auction, so I'm gonna give them all the information, send them that everything is paid, you guys can figure out. So they go pick up the car and drive it, I mean, not drive it, of course, put it on the trailer or whatever, send it to the port. I don't do anything else except buying the car online. The rest of the job is doing the shipping company. So they're responsible for everything. They have the insurance, they have everything. They're responsible for everything. If something happened with my car, they're responsible.
And are we talking mostly salvage vehicles?
It can be clean title or salvage. Usually it will be salvage because the salvage vehicles, they're less, way less, so it's not a good deal.
Are they all going overseas?
Yeah,
All of them?
all of them. That's the reason, yeah. People
What if
buy
somebody
from
in the country wanted a vehicle?
here.
Yeah.
I don't need it.
What?
I mean, in the United States.
So supposing your next door neighbor knew what you were doing and you wanted a vehicle?
But I mean, I know I cannot sell them the car. It's gonna be only for shipping. I'm not gonna sell the people. I don't wanna be responsible for anything else. I just wanna ship the car to overseas to make money. I don't wanna deal with the people who live there, who wanna buy it. They wanna buy the car, I'm not gonna sell, I can't.
that's not the line of selling you.
Yeah, that's not what I wanna do. I wanna ship the cars to overseas, to Europe, to the people who live, who wants to buy the car.
This license is gonna be for, what's the address?
It's my home address.
Kane Street.
Payne Street, and can we limit it, like, no cars at no?
Well, I think it's obvious he's not gonna have cars.
Right.
My concern is that he is able to sell vehicles and without a lot, basically he could.
May I? I've read over this ordinance a bunch of times, and I see a couple of things here. The failure to comply with the provisions of this ordinance with the state consumer protection statutes of the license in the terms and conditions of the license, which are set by the license board, which follow, you know, that there is storage, that there is display, that there is lemon laws, that there are, you know, protections for the people that have this license. And for you to come in and ask for a license, but not have to comply with anything in the ordinance, makes me skeptical. I've never done it before. This ordinance was written to protect consumers, first and foremost, and then protect the people that have the motor too and use dealer licenses, that, you know, they pay taxes in our city. They fix cars, they handle cars every day. doesn't sound like you're gonna be handling cars. And for that, I don't know that it falls under this specific ordinance. And therefore, I have really too many questions at this time. Zoning, there are zoning ordinance. No one in this city, as of right now, can sell or buy used cars out of their home address. And I think that we're setting a precedence here that if we let you, then, you know, what about the people that have actually, you know, tried to make a living getting a spot, real estate, to actually sell cars, you know? So whether it's a competition thing or it doesn't, I don't see what you're doing following under this ordinance. And therefore, I have more questions and concerns as to what you're doing. State consumer regulations that everybody follows, you don't seem to have to follow them. You know, so why should you need our license if you don't have to follow our rules?
No, I'm following your rules, whatever you guys say, this is online business. I'm not selling the cars to the people.
I don't know that we have an online license at
That's
this
why
time.
I'm asking if I'm gonna register the business with the state secretary too. So I just need the license to register with the corporate auction, so I can buy the car online and ship it overseas.
We don't have that right now, you know, so,
Are you saying that you don't think it comes under Mobile 2?
no. Not with the compliance that everybody else is following, in the zoning ordinance that everybody else is following, I don't see that it is.
My concern is just, really, there's no way you can regulate who we can sell it to. You give them the license. You can sell it, you can just start selling it to anybody. And then it goes back into consumer protection. And the very reason we give licenses is for the public good and those kind of things. So I'm just, it's new to me, and those are my concerns.
I'm not going to sell.
Yeah, you're saying that now, but there's nothing that says you can't.
Is there anything you can do that I don't?
Well, again, this is new to me, and I'm listening to my fellow board members. Those are my concerns, and I can understand where.
Right now, I work at the used car dealership. If I need to sell the cars to the consumers, I work at the used car dealership.
So you know how that works.
I know everything how it works. So I work in West Bridgewater, the used car dealership. So I know everything about the used cars business. I just need the corporate auction license. I'm not the dealer, but I just wanted to have the access to buy the cars and ship overseas.
These cars, do they come with a clear title?
The most of them, they salvage title.
But it's a salvage, but it's a clear salvage title, correct?
What does it mean?
In other words, that you have a title to this vehicle that says this vehicle
No.
is what it is.
I will not have in my hand the title even, because so how it works. When I beat the line, I bought the car, shipping company go take the car.
I understand
with
all
the
that.
title.
How do we know where that car came from? How do we regulate
Oh, it
that?
will say on the title that the car was from the corporate auction, and it will say the company who name everything.
Do you keep car dealer records under Mass General Law, Chapter 140, Section 62?
If I have to, yes.
So right now you,
You mean at this location?
and what you're doing, what you want to do, export your cars, do you plan on following Mass
Yes,
General?
of course. Of course I'm gonna follow every law you guys have here.
And under Mass General Law, Chapter 140, I would wonder if there was a title requirement that follows section 62, so that you could track, because here it says, police officers, licensed board members, and duly appointed agents of the licensed board authorized to enforce the ordinance relative to licensing. So you would have to submit what you're buying.
I don't see any issue.
Made available upon request.
For me, the concern is that he could buy a car from salvage, and it could be a car that could be fixed, as he said. He could just keep, there's no requirement for him to send it out of the country. He could just sell it here with this Motor 2 license. So I have a problem.
So I work at the dealership, so if I need to do something like that, I can do that there, right?
I don't know, I don't think so.
I mean, it's a used car dealer and they have a
Yeah, you
license.
can't buy it. The dealer who owns the dealership could buy it.
Yeah, but I'm authorized, I'm a manager there, I'm authorized, I have the auctions access, but it's under his dealer. So I want to have my own business. I don't want to pay him money as a broker, you know.
Well, therein lies my concern. You want to have your own business, and there's no guarantee that these cars will go out of the country. You could, in fact, keep one of the cars, couldn't you?
No, I'm not going to do that.
But
Not
you
gonna
could.
say no. I don't know why I have to do that.
To sell it?
I mean, it's illegal. It's illegal.
If you have a license, you can buy a car, and you can sell it with a title.
But I cannot sell from my house, right?
Right.
It doesn't make sense. If I have to do business, I'm gonna register, rent a place, lot, and then have the insurance, have everything to run the normal business. I'm not gonna have the license, it's just, you know, like, do things like that.
Why can't you purchase a vehicle online through the company that you have with the license that you have? Because you could go to a dealer, you could go up to Quirk
I
Auction,
know, but I
correct?
have to pay the fee every time I use his license, his access. I have to pay the fee to the company. So each time you buy a car, I mean, you have to pay the money if you want to work with them. So I just want to avoid that, to save the money.
Are there any other companies that you're aware of that have this particular arrangement that you know of? Who else does this that you know?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know.
Are there other people out there?
I don't know, because it just came in my mind. I called to the town office, I asked if I can do business this way. That's why I'm here. I don't know if someone else can do that or have that idea, they can do that, so I don't know. I don't think so. This is just in my brain comes things like that nobody.
Is it more because we don't have an actual location within the city that he can have cars? Because what's to stop, and I'll use our friends in the back who are gonna be coming up here that have a used car dealership right now, what's to stop them from taking their Motor 2 and doing exactly what he's doing, and we wouldn't even know about it?
Well, they have a lot.
They have a lot, so that's what I'm saying, so it's because he doesn't have a lot that we have the issue.
That's one of the
That's
concerns.
my concern, yes.
The other concern is the compliance with the consumer protection statutes of the state of Massachusetts. That's a concern, and whether he goes and gets dealer plates, that's
No,
another
I
concern.
don't need dealer place.
But if you have a Motor 2 used car dealer, you're entitled to go and get dealer plates, you know, which again falls under this ordinance that, you know, you have a shop, you have a garage, you have premise to have your vehicles.
So let me get this straight.
I
Your thought
don't
is
think that this,
he's non-compliant with
Right.
our local
That's
ordinance in order to issue him the Motor 2.
that's right.
That's your thought?
That's my thought, just my own. Thank you.
And actually, that's a good point. He would be entitled to a dealer plate, which, you know, that's kind of applies to other establishments that have a lot in every business.
So what can we do in this case? I'm just using online and I'm not printing it, I'm not.
No, we understand, you know, it's a good idea, you're using your brain and you're trying, you know,
Yeah.
but this is, you know, there's some concerns here. That it's not fair to other establishments who have a motor 2 license. And it's open to abuse in some ways, that you can get a dealer plate. You could very well sell these vehicles close to homes.
So, I'm not gonna do that because I'm thinking to, you know, to work, to open the business. If you do something like that, you will never get a license. So not to just thinking, just have the license and, you know, sell on the car on the side, no. I wanna, you know, open the dealership here in the future. So I just need to make money.
Sir, what about if someone came up and said, I just want to sell one car out of my driveway?
I'm sorry.
One car out of my driveway. And I have premise, and I have everything that I need to be compliant. I have a garage. You know, I'm just saying that now you're opening up a whole new issue. So, I mean, I just see a lot of questions.
What is the address that we're looking at here for this?
It's a
30.
family house.
So if it's a, can we issue a motor 2 under our zoning laws? I'm assuming it's probably Residence B or something?
Yes.
Well, you know, the zoning issue are separate. Anybody who comes for a motor 2 license that's gonna open a lot or whatever, is gonna would have to comply with zoning. But he's not even suggesting that he's gonna open a lot. He could park the
Yeah, but
car on
doesn't-
his lot with a
but-
dealer plate.
On the lot aside, the license has to be in a location that is designated for this type of use, whether he's gonna have a car there or not.
Well, if,
It's like, if
But he's- so he's-
if he wanted to open up this business at 60 Payne Street for 5 cars, if he's in a residence B area,
so it boils down to, this is basically, his proposal is a home-based business, which is allowed. No customers come to the house, no goods or materials are stored on site. It's just like a real estate agent, or, you know, somebody doing work out of their home. So that would be allowed in almost any district. Just online, he's on his computer and no
yeah,
customers.
but how many licenses how many businesses, there's a difference between a home-based business that doesn't require a license and a home-based business that does require a license. I don't know of too many people in the carpentry business that have, you know,
Correct.
the contractors that have they park a truck in their car, but they don't need a license from anybody else, from us, they just need that home-based business address so that they can do their banking.
Right.
It's not,
That's basically,
it's,
he's here because he can't buy the vehicles without a license.
Right.
There are people that do have licenses. I don't know who licenses them, and we probably have to get a legal opinion on that. So that, say for example, you wanted to become a licensed dealer. You could go up on a Monday afternoon to Quirk Auction with me, purchase a vehicle with your license, sell it to me, mark it up $10 or $1,000, whatever it is, sell it to me, and you never take possession of the vehicle.
Correct.
You're buying it for me. I know that happens. I know some
Correct.
people go up and do that every week.
Yes.
How is that different than?
that's not, except he's just doing it online for people farther away.
But
It's kind of essentially.
what you're saying is the person who's going up there has a motor 2 license.
And
How they
he's-
got it is,
Correct, but they may not have a yard or,
but if it's somebody who's licensed in this city, has a lot. We can't speak for anybody from any other town, but I agree that does happen. But I believe I would be willing to think that those people have a lot and they have a Motor 2 license and they're duly licensed with repair plates and everything like that. Because it is an easy, quick few bucks to go to the auction or something.
I know some of these used car lots that
And
do
then-
that, that's where they get their
And then
vehicles.
you rely on consumer protection as the person that's buying it through the dealer. So if there's no repercussion, maybe they write something up formally that says, I'm not responsible after
As it-
the sale as is,
Well,
but we don't have that.
You brought up a point earlier, the title then would be made out to the dealer, who can then turn it around and sell it off the same day, right?
Yeah.
If you're a dealer, with the title. You don't have to go to the registry, you can just sign it over. So, basically,
If it's free and clear, yes.
yeah, it seems just open to some abuse, to have an online license. I'm just, that's what I'm worried about, that he has a dealer plate, there's a lot he could do without having a lot.
Can I make a recommendation to the board that we remand this, that we continue it, remand it to our legal department for more of a legal review?
Sure.
So if we continue it until the 13th, is that okay if we continue and get some,
I would
do a little bit
also,
more research on our end of it too? Now that we have a better idea of what you want to do?
Because I don't see where
I just don't know honestly how to buy the car.
Without the
right,
license?
no, I understand that, but with our Motor 2, Nikki read the ordinances on Motor 2, and it doesn't really comply with what our Motor 2 licenses provide. So I would think that if we're gonna change the rules here, that we ought to have a legal review, just to see if what we're doing is on solid footing, so that we don't run afoul of some other business in the city that decides they wanna sell cars too, however, and we get jammed up with that, and we wanna, have a driveway with 12 cars in the way to be sold. I just think, for us to, I don't know that we can give you this license, because it's in violation of our city ordinance. So I think we would either have to rewrite something or get a legal opinion. That's just
Maybe
one
it can
man's
be
thought.
motor vehicle 4 or 5 in this, like a broker, for the brokers. who want
I understand what
be
you're trying
on
to
the
do, and I don't
side.
have any issues with it.
Nothing to selling here, it's just shipping. So it's a good business. The corporate auction, they're worldwide. So then Canada and US and Europe, everywhere in Asia.
Mhm.
So if you can buy a car, having the access, and it's.
You just need a license
Yeah.
to be able to get into their
To
system.
register with them, to be able to buy a car, you just need that license to ship the cars.
I understand.
So I'm gonna look for a motion to continue this until the 13th, and then we'll get some legal opinion from our city solicitor. And we'll reach out to see if anybody else is actually doing this and how they're doing it, and see if you comply with our regs. But I do want to see if we can continue this until the 13th.
yeah, I'll make the motion. I would also ask, maybe these companies that will go and pick up the vehicles, if you could you give us some of that information?
For sure, US Intercargo,
US,
US Intercargo, so they have an office, I think the main office in Carmel, Indianapolis. They have an office in
and
Houston.
basically you call them, they come, go pick up the car and ship it
Oh,
out?
yeah, I call them, and then in the office, whoever works with this part, let's say, one person works with the Asia, another person works with Europe, so they do the rest of the job, so I don't know anything. They just go, hire, I don't know, transportation companies. They as a broker, they work with New Jersey port, they work with California port, Houston port, yeah, everywhere in the United States. They ship the car, to ship anything, any equipment, whatever you guys want to ship it overseas. So they work with anything. They have all the, everything is insured, so.
What's the name of the auto store, place where you work?
Right now,
Where you're the manager, yeah.
oh, so my friend, he just opened it a week ago, it's in West Bridgewater, Mega Motors. Yeah.
Megan?
My name?
No, what is it, Megan?
Mega, yeah,
Oh,
Mega
Mega.
Motors, yeah.
And they've been open a week?
Yeah, he just opened it there, so.
You've been a manager for a week?
Yes,
What did you do before that?
I was working at the Vista Motors, next to, so.
Next door?
And Yeah, next to that, it's like 739 and 755 North Main Street in West Bridgewater. So I was working on a car salesman.
Were you a manager there?
No, I was selling the cars. I mean, I have the option, I can ask my friends to buy that, but I just don't want every time ask them to buy this car, to buy that car. So it's kind, they do favor 1-2 times, but
No, we
it's,
understand.
yeah, if it's gonna be business, if I'm gonna make money, I just wanna have something that I can, have on my name, so I don't deal with,
Okay.
there's, so.
Mr. Chairman, in the case regarding Von Harakalian for a Motor 2 license for access to car auction for home-based auto export business, I make a motion to continue the case to November 13th.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to continue the case, to continue the hearing for Vaughn Arakalian for a Motor 2 license for access to the car auction for home-based auto export business, 35 Payne Street. This is going to be continued till 11/13/18, so we can get some clarification from our law department on our ordinance on Motor 2 used car vehicles. All in favor?
Aye.
We'll see you on the 13th, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, what time?
4 o'clock,
All right.
same time. Agenda item number 7. This is an update on the proposed operational changes at Quincy Auto, 165 Hancock Street. This is, at this location right now, it is a Motor 2 and a garage repair for 20 cars. This is Mr. Samir Rita.
Yes.
And he is going to tell us what he is looking to do up at Quincy Gate Auto. We had them before us a little over a year ago, year and a half ago, maybe?
Exactly,
A year ago, and we issued them a used Motor 2 for 20 cars. Why don't you tell us what your proposal is, okay?
So we plan, since the car sales is kind of slow, the location seems to be a little hiding because of the train bridge. We're trying to do school buses, minivan, school bus service instead of the car dealership.
So I was down there speaking with them, and my understanding is that they still have the Motor 2. They want to stop selling cars,
Yes.
and instead of selling cars, you want to purchase
Minivan.
minivans and rent them out for whether or not you have, 5 kids that are going to daycare somewhere, or a field trip, or is that what we're looking at, something like that? No? Why don't you tell us what you're looking at?
Sorry,
That's okay.
I've been doing this a long time. It's 70 pupil transport is what it is, and you contract through cities and towns to transport students to and from school. You can do daycares. I prefer not to do little ones. Ages 3 to 22 is pretty much what we'd be transporting, and that's basically.
So when you say you work with cities and towns, so
It's like a bidding process.
right now, does anybody here have any knowledge of Quincy's? So is there a contract out, like?
Yeah, certain, not for Quincy, I don't know if Quincy Public Schools does it, but they do.
The public schools, the public schools that
Yes.
they transport the kids from the school to the parents' houses,
So
and handicapped kids.
Yep.
if a kid went to Norfolk Aggie and Quincy didn't provide bus service,
They would call us.
they would call you.
Yes.
And you're just looking to store the vehicles on that property?
No, actually, not even stored.
The vehicles so many times, say we 20 vehicles, all right? But these vehicles don't exist on the yard because the drivers, they take it home. We're looking a license to have the place to control the buses.
Basically what it is that I've been a 70 driver for 17 years. So what they do is, some are contracted, like you just said about Norfolk Aggie. If they didn't do it, they would call us. And then they would ask us how much it would cost to transport A to B. And then we would say, we'll call you back in 10 minutes, let's figure out the mileage, so forth, the wear and tear of the vehicles, whatever. And a lot of towns, like Boston doesn't do it, Boston does a bid, it's a bid sheet. And they'll go on, and there's a lot of homeless kids that are spread all across Boston. And yes, and then they'll say, all right, well, for an example, this is gonna be called Coastal Transit Inc. Okay, well, they won this bid, when can you start it? And that's all it is, it's required to have pupil plates, and we can't transport more than 8 people at a time.
I know it's highly regulated.
Yes.
What
I'm actually a
license-
member of the Massachusetts area
I don't think
transportation.
What license are you looking for?
Transportation.
I don't think they're looking for any license.
Business license, I think.
Just
I'll
a
fix it.
It'd
business
just be business,
certificate.
it's not a
and-
motor two.
Right.
It's not a motor two, and I think they just wanna be able to store the vehicles.
If
If they need it, or any kind of repairs that are gonna
Right.
be done, they're gonna be done at this
Because
location.
basically, like, say for an example, we start a fleet of like, say, 5 to 10 vehicles, in minivans, cars, whatever. Say a car breaks down, the car has to come to the shop to get repaired, then another car goes out for them. And everything with 17 now is very, very regulated. There's certain requirements that you have to have. there's quarries through the state of Massachusetts, there's quarries through every town, so we just fingerprinting everything. We just can't say, hey, for an example, your name's Andrew, here, go pick up these kids.
So you just need a place
Yes.
to operate out of.
Yes.
Yeah. That's it.
Do you have a business license in Quincy for this? Yeah, I'm assuming it's a new business.
We do have a business license for this particular.
I know you have the motor two.
Yes.
What's the name of your company with the motor two is on it?
Quincy Gate Auto.
Quincy Gate Auto?
Yeah, so Quincy Gate Auto doing business as
Coastal Transit.
Coastal Transit.
Well, it could be two separate businesses.
It has to be.
It's gonna be two separate.
I would think, because
Yeah.
one's repair and the other one's doing the transit.
You always have to have, every 17 company has to have its own name. That's regulated, it can't be like, for an example, MBTA Quincy and MBTA Quincy, it has to have its own name.
Nobody else can have that.
Okay, so you're just gonna come up and get a DBA.
Yep.
Do you plan on doing, you're gonna still keep the repair business, right?
Yes.
Yes.
But you're not gonna be selling vehicles out of there, so we're not gonna drive by there and there's gonna be 10 minivans for the kids and
You're going to
30.
see my car, don't worry about it. You're going to see vehicles.
Right now, you have probably about, I'm gonna say 14 cars without plates that are for sale up there right now.
Right.
Those are gonna be gone?
Yes.
So you're gonna stop
Because what it
selling.
is that they did this business and they're sinking, basically, because it's not selling. And I've been, like I said, I've been in the 17 world for 17 years. I'm a driver, I have a 17, I'm state regulated, and she's been a manager forever and a day. We both actually come from the same company that we left a year ago. So it's basically that they're drowning in this, they wanna get rid of that and start this from ground up. And that's the way that we do it.
Are you gonna be leasing this out, or are you gonna be working for them?
Working for them. She's the general manager, I'm the manager, so we know what needs to be done, the regulations, everything that needs to be required in the vehicles. Because there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, we inspect them occasionally
Yes.
with the state. We just
You
did
know
recently.
Forrest?
We
Foster?
did.
Yeah.
Forest Basin.
Yes. Yes, we know them
So you're
too,
gonna
so.
keep both businesses operating?
What do you mean both?
Well, you got the motor two and.
The motor two we are thinking about.
They're gonna get rid of the motor. The
Yeah.
motor two gets renewed at the end of the year?
They're gonna get rid of the motor two.
So you would not be renewing the motor two.
But you'll still keep the repair?
You'll still keep.
Yeah, we still need the
repair.
repair because we don't know.
Yeah.
And how many cars do you have now to repair?
For
20?
20 on the lot too.
As long as, I don't have a real hiccup with this, as long as they're not exceeding the limit.
Yeah, as long as you
on
don't
the
exceed
lot.
20 cars on the lot.
And what it is too is that each driver gets to take their vehicles home.
Yeah, there's at the driver's house, so.
And like say for an example, a driver would say, hey, my name's Christine. Hey Christine, I really don't have a place to put this. Can we put it in the lot? Then in return, I would bring a vehicle home, so then, you know what I'm saying? Not
Yeah,
overloaded.
if there's less than 20 on the lot, you
Right.
can leave it on the lot, but if there's more, then you take
Right.
it. Okay.
We figure something out and
Yeah.
store them someplace else because I know it's regulated that you can't have so many vehicles on a premises and whatnot.
That's a concern.
Yes, and like everybody starts from the ground up. I know several different people that have started this kind of business with 3 vehicles and have over 200 now, that are in different cities, of course. but you start low and you, eventually you'll have to move.
What kind of vehicle, are there gonna be buses in addition to the vehicle?
No, the minivan.
They're all minivans.
Yes.
There's
Yeah.
nothing bigger than that?
Mm-mm.
No, no.
Not, but the
The
70,
biggest you can go is 10.
Right.
10 passenger.
in the 70 vehicle, you cannot, by law, you cannot have more than 8 people in that vehicle, because it's set, what it is, 17, it's 7 passengers and a driver. If you're overloaded, Forrest can come, or break the stickers right off and take your business right from you. We've had a time. You know, I've been one of those people that didn't know, and just take them, and it happens. They're on C Street all the time.
I gotta tell you one thing, I'm disappointed in the landscaping up there. It's a mess.
I've gotten on them about that.
Yeah, you know, you promised when we gave you the license, you would do all the landscaping, you never did anything.
This time we'll do.
But.
We're here now. No, we're here now.
It looks awful.
They try to clean up, now the leaves they come on the ground, we cannot follow the leaves yet.
No, it's not.
It's not about the leaves, it's about everything
Okay,
else.
I know, I know,
Yeah.
I know.
It's
But
terrible.
we need to make a,
Well, that's fine.
So I'm not looking if we're giving them any license or anything else. We will not be renewing the Motor 2 at the end of the year. And this is an update. Do we need anything?
They'll have to come for the DD.
Yeah, you have to come up and get the DBA,
The
right?
new business.
The DBA,
Doing business as.
yeah.
and wish us good luck, etc.
That's it.
Nothing else. Yeah, of
There's no
course.
motion from us at all.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's just a DDA.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
so-
we appreciate you coming up and explaining to us what you're gonna be doing and everything else.
So you're gonna go to the clerk's office tomorrow
Okay.
and,
Then you
Well-
gotta, then you gotta come by my house,
I was just gonna say, no, well,
just to get a signature. Well, I mean, it's up to you, Madam Clerk. Usually they get the
but
DBA.
it's not a whole base.
Oh, it's not, okay.
Right,
Oh, so
yeah.
they just go to you?
Yep, just go to me.
Do you want them to do it out of their home?
No,
No.
They have big companies like the Sun out of homes, believe it or not.
Not here.
The first company I worked for, it was out of Braintree. He started right out of his house. It was because you couldn't park anywhere. So, you know.
This is a good sized lot you have up there. so-
Yeah,
Right.
work together in harmony.
You know, we're digging on the house. Clean it up.
thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Have a
Good
great
night.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you for that update. With that, we are looking at lottery. We're looking to do a keynote to go at 664 Washington Street. Any objections from the board? Seeing none, we can move on. We are coming out with our holiday hours. I'll review them real quick right now. Off-premise licenses, which are liquor stores and beer and wine stores for off-premise, can remain open until 11:30 p.m. the day before all holidays. So that would be November 21st, Thanksgiving, and December 24th, Christmas, and December 31st, New Year's Eve. So they can remain open until 11:30 p.m. They may not sell or deliver alcohol on Thanksgiving Day or Christmas Day. On-premise licenses, these are all restaurant licenses, beer and wine, full alcohol. May not sell alcohol until 12 noon on Christmas Day, 12/21. All licenses may sell or deliver on alcohol on New Year's Day. Our last item on the holiday hours is our on-premise license, and these are restaurants and bar rooms to extension of hours until 2 a.m. on New Year's Eve. Local authority has jurisdiction on licenses after 11 o'clock. City of Boston has 2 a.m. license. Quincy went back to a 1 a.m. license way back when the Joy King was still around, huh, Chief? Been in there many times. So we do extend the hours on New Year's Eve to 2 a.m. as long as we have a unanimous or a vote of the board. So I'm just looking to extend the hours till 2 a.m. on New Year's Eve by the board.
Chairman, motion to extend the hours for New Year's Eve until, excuse me, until 2 a.m.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to extend the hours of operation on all on-premise licenses until 2 a.m. on New Year's Eve. All in favor? Aye. That is it. Can I get a motion to waive the reading of the previous meeting?
Motion made.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. That concludes today's meeting of the licensing board for October 30th. Thank you very much, and everyone have a happy Halloween. Be safe.